Welcome to the 4Q podcast. My name is Sheena Shui. I have a Bachelor of Psychology, Masters of Counselling, and Masters of Social Work. My aim is to normalise rather than pathologise life. And in this podcast, we talk all things therapy, women's mental health, leadership, and business. So if you're ready to learn some tips, tricks, and hear some amazing stories to really amplify your life and your business, let's get into it. Welcome again to the 4Q podcast. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. It's Sheena here, and I'm so happy that you've taken the time to learn about yourself, learn about new concepts, and take this time for you. Well done for that, because not everybody does that. So let's get into today on why do high achievers tend to struggle with happiness? Why is that? As somebody who works with high achievers, is a self-identified high achiever, it can be really easy to get tunnel vision and not be able to see what you really want in life. So let me explain it in a very simplistic example, and then we'll expand on it. Let's say you're hungry and you go, okay, I'm hungry. The logical thing is I want food. But you're not really specific about the food. You just go, I just want some kind of food. And then what happens is, let's say somebody else orders for you and you don't tell them specifically what you want. Or let's say somebody says to you, oh, you know what? This kind of food will satisfy you. This kind of cuisine is going to make you really, really happy. I eat it every day and I love it, and it makes me feel really good and really satiated. I love it. And then what happens is you're influenced by that person, their ideas, their experiences, what you're told is going to satiate you, what food is going to be good for you. The food arrives. You're like, yes, I'm finally doing the thing I'm supposed to do. Eat food when I'm hungry. You eat it, and afterwards you feel hugely disappointed. It didn't taste how you thought it was going to taste. It didn't leave you feeling how you thought it was going to leave you feeling. Maybe you're still hungry. Maybe you're bloated. Maybe you feel awful afterwards. Maybe it was too unhealthy for you. Maybe it was too healthy for you. Maybe you were craving at the time something super indulgent. The problem here is that you weren't specific enough, and you were just looking at the goal and not being specific about, what do I actually want? You didn't actually look internally. All you did was look externally at the goal rather than internally of what do I want in terms of this goal? What does this goal look like in my world? So something that might have been better is, let's say you were just craving some really good sushi or a really incredible salad that had lots of layers and it's lush and it felt healthy and it didn't leave you bloated, but it still had enough in it that it left you full. It wasn't one of those salads which was literally just lettuce and tomato and it leaves you hungry. Like, it actually left you feeling nourished and great, and it was amazing and all of that. And that's what you envisioned, and you got it. And it's so satisfying. We all know that feeling of when you order something you're craving and you actually listen to what you want and you get it. Oh, that's satisfaction. And you feel really content during, before, after. Before you've got that anticipation. During, it's incredible. Afterwards, you feel content. That's what happens when we create a life that we want based on knowing ourselves enough to know what we want. Here's what happens with high achievers. They see the goal of success or the good job or the corporate ladder or whatever the thing is. I want to have this role. I want to have this job. I want this much money. Without actually stopping to go, what does that look like for me? So what does the money actually buy that I want in life? So it can be really easy to say I want $1 million rather than saying I want a house by the beach where I don't have to work that much. Or I want a house by a beach where I can take Fridays off every week. Whatever that looks like, the more specific you can be about your life and what you want, the more satiated you're going to be. The more, once you know what your core values are, what's actually important, you're going to feel happier. But what happens with high achievers is they get stuck on the goal. Just like we said in the example, they get stuck on, I just want food. I just want success. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to get that. Rather than clarifying initially, what does that look like and feel like for me? I'm not going to listen to what works for Joe Blow. That might work for him, but that doesn't work for me. What satiates somebody in life doesn't satiate you. What feels good for one person isn't going to feel good for you. Now, the catch is the only way you're going to satiate yourself is to know yourself and experiment with things. It's actually trying out different things. So you don't know that you crave a lush salad until you've eaten a lush salad, okay? Or had an experience similar to that. So that's why it's so important in life to travel and to have experiences. But the problem with high achievers is that it seems too wasteful and unproductive. It seems wasteful to spend money on an experience or take time off to do nothing or, experience the joys of life, because that money could be put into my business, into buying something for myself, into in doing a reno on the house. It could be put on so many things rather than investing in holidays, experiences, going for a float or a massage or a new thing at the spa, right? So it's really important, if you identify as a high achiever, maybe you've got anxiety, maybe you're anxious, maybe you're type A, we know this, that there's that drive, that perfectionism, that I like to be the best at what I do. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not bashing that. I'm like that too. But it's making sure you start to know yourself, invest in experiences, slow down and actually ask yourself, what am I going for here? Because otherwise, if you just go with what society tells you, which is get the good job, get the good house, get this, get that, have the family, that might leave you feeling incredibly unfulfilled and actually quite depressed because it took so much time and energy to get that, and that wasn't what the life of success and abundance and joy looks like for you. And this is why high achievers can fall into the trap of being incredibly sad or depressed even. So I really challenge you, if you identify with this and you listen to this, start easy. Do an experience. Take a day off work. That's one thing for a high achiever, is to go, a day off work? And then actually do stuff. So don't go have fun. Go do something different. Go to a new restaurant. Go to a new place. Hang out with a new person. Whatever it might be. Think about that. Do that. I really encourage you to try that for yourself. And then a lot of the work that we do in our one-on-one sessions or any of our programs is working on what does success and wealth look like for you? What does a successful life look like for me? What does wealth look like for me? So when we talk about wealth, we're talking about how does wealth look like for me in terms of spending time in my relationships and friendships? What adds to a friendship? So what deposits into the friendship and what takes away? What, pulls back on a friendship? What does that look like in my day-to-day? What does my ideal lifestyle look like? My ideal friendships, relationships, all of that. Because then you get clearer on what you're working towards. Then you're not working on autopilot on the conditioning that you've had, which so many of us has had, is grow up, go to uni, get a job, do this, do that. It's actually going, what's the life that I'm trying to create? And then you'll have more satisfaction. The high achievement that you have will be more balanced. And so it'll actually drive you towards joy rather than away from it, so that you actually get that abundant food that leaves you satiated and joyful. You'll get that life that, like we spoke about with the food, life where you've got things coming up and you have the joy of anticipation. You're in the experience itself and you have the joy of that experience. And then after a really satisfying experience, that contentment of going, what a great day today was, how grateful I am for that. Or what a great lunch that was with my friends, what a great dinner and drinks that was, whatever it is, what a great holiday we've just had, what a great morning I've had by myself. We all know that feeling of contentment when it works out and it feels good. So that's a way that a high achiever can move their strengths and their drive in the right direction, is by getting clear on that stuff. So I hope that's given you food for thought. I challenge you to do this. And of course, if you're on Instagram or even LinkedIn, I'm active on LinkedIn now. You can find me, Sheena Shui, on LinkedIn. Tag me to let me know how you're incorporating the investment in experiences, incorporating new ways of being and thinking about success and wealth in a way that aligns with a more satisfactory way of being. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see you doing that. And I love to see you when you tag me in taking a day off. This is your therapist's permission to take a day off, okay? So I hope that that's helpful. Let me know your feedback. I always love hearing the positive comments after this podcast. It really warms my heart to hear how just little moments, this interaction we're having together, this connection is planting some incredible seeds in your mind, in your life, and in your relationships. So you take care. I hope you enjoyed this short and fast and quick episode. And I'm going to see you next time on the next episode of the 4Q podcast. Bye for now.